and yoga steams. Um, that's like where my business began. And then I've been creating jewelry and clothing since I was a kid. And I recently have kind of incorporated that
into my beauty business. And yeah.
It's always good when it like comes full circle. Everything you've been doing and you don't even know why you're doing it. You're not even making money or anything, and it's just like, oh, okay, it's supposed to all go together.
Exactly. I just everything I do is for the purpose of empowering women, and yeah, I create for women.
Right. Because, I mean, it's fulfilling when you are a woman and you're creating for women. You know?
Exactly.
It's like, what better thing could you be doing besides uplifting other women? So that's amazing. And that's kind of why you're here. And that was something I noticed about her, you know, like just the few things I have seen, which I know you've done a lot. Like you said, you own your own business, and then you also model, right? Is that new for you? Are you new to the modeling game? Have you been doing it for a long time?
I've been modeling since I was a kid, but the runway stuff is newer. I just got started with that in December of last year. I also just started crocheting in December of last year. So it's only taken me like 8 months, and I've been in a ton of shows, and yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you plan on going outside of the Bay Area with your designs, like New York, Miami? Miami's fun.
I've already applied to New York and LA.
Nice.
Yeah.
And she's going to go, so it doesn't matter. So today's topic is Mercury's in retrograde, and we're shifting with this shit anyways, right? Because we all, once again, have so much going on, but for some reason during this cycle of craziness, we experience things that are kind of unbelievable, right? Things that, you know, bring forth truths, recognition, you know, and growth also. So what is something you can tell me, and the viewers, of course, remember they're there. So what can you tell me that is something that you have noticed every time retrograde comes around? Is it like the call from the exes? Is it the meltdowns? Is it which one is it for you?
I don't know, because like astrology and all of those things interest me, but it's not like I fully understand it. And I do feel like some people just use that as an excuse.
Thank you.
Like,
And that's we're gonna get
so
into
it's
that
annoying.
when Phoenix is here.
I don't like to be like, oh my God, Mercury is in retrograde. That's why this is happening.
Right.
So I don't know. I can't really say that I've noticed like a general theme every time.
And that's okay. But that's okay. But we do notice different things, of course, you know, when Mercury is in retrograde. Things do happen, and of course we have to shift with them, and that's kind of what today is about. It's not only, you know, shifting through Mercury retrograde, because like we were saying, crazy stuff happens all the time. It just seems that, you know, during that time it's like unbelievable. It's like, wait, what's going? Yeah, it's almost like one thing after another, and it's like, how do I ground myself? And, you know, I think a lot of the times, too, with a lot of these things that, you know, are going around, it's all wordplay, right? When you say things, they become naturally true, right? So another thing I believe about Mercury retrograde, it could also be, you know, thought process, right? So, you know, we're all thousands and thousands of people, right? And what do we say about Mercury retrograde when it comes around? It's terrible. It's horrible. I had the worst time of my life. So guess what? Every cycle of Mercury retrograde, you're going to have a horrible time, right? So what I started doing is because, you know, once you know about it, you can't go backwards, right? Whenever you learn about something, you can't go backwards. It's kind of like splitting a pole. Even if you don't believe in it, it's kind of like, okay, let me go back around this pole, because you just never know. But how I look at it is, why not look at it as a good thing, right? It doesn't have to always be a fight. It doesn't have to be a push or pull, because that's something that you don't want to do with the universe, right? It's supposed to flow. So if you're feeling like, oh, during this time, this is when I go through the most things, maybe you should look at why you're going through those things, like what's going on in your life, right? So to say that, what is a way that you keep yourself grounded when you are knocked off of your horse and you're it's like a couple of weeks and you're just like, what is going on? Like, where am I? Who is this person? What is that? You know, type thing. What is something that you use to stay grounded? Is it prayer? Is it meditation? Is it a little bit of both? I know for me it is, you know. What do you use?
Well, I would say I definitely don't always stay grounded. I do lose my shit a lot. But even this morning, I like had your phrase in my mind, like shift with the shit, because I had a client. I woke up early, got ready for work, drove to my office, and she wasn't answering her phone. I was like, okay, maybe she overslept, and she lives right around the corner from my salon. So I was like, it's okay. like if once she answered the phone, she'll come. So I'm like, okay, I'll go get a coffee, and
Did you come back and
she still didn't answer the phone. I was like, okay. I texted her. I said, we're gonna have to reschedule. And I just went and ran a few other errands that I had to run for myself. But you know, I had extra time before this. But instead of like getting so angry about it, and it's like, all right, like,
what can I do?
Yeah.
But you know what?
Can I do?
That's when you feel like you've hit a little centimeter of growth, right? When you're like, okay, I gotta sit with it. Right. I'm just.
Oh well.
Because you know, when I was younger, I was a little spicy, and I would, you know. You know, but as you get older and you learn patience, you know, you start realizing that when you're rushing, that's when, you know, you end up unaligned.
Yeah.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about where do you think you stand as far as like where you are in your growth process? Because as we all know, growth never stops, right? That was something we talked about last week. That's just something, once you think you've outgrown everything, and you think you know everything, you know, you're pretty much killing yourself, you know? Where do you think you stand in your growth as far as where you want to be and where you're trying to go?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
Oh, no problem. So we all kind of have our journey, right? So sometimes we're like at the beginning of our journey, we're just kind of figuring things out. We're just figuring out what we want to do. And then, you know, sometimes there's actually a space in your journey that is, you know, between the beginning and the middle, right? Where you've kind of figured things out, you know, and you kind of know more now, you know, and, but you're not quite midway through your journey where you've got things a little solid to where you can continue your journey and build, you know? So there's like little steps in between, you know. What are you where you wanted to be at your age right now? Or do you feel like maybe you have more processes, or maybe you just feel like you have way more to learn for where you are right now? I mean, we all feel like we have more to learn, but sometimes you may want to go back to school. Like, I'm not necessarily just talking about learn life, but maybe you want to go back to school. Maybe you want to study something else that might go along with what you're doing now. Yeah, pretty much.
I would say that I'm I'm pretty proud of the progress that I've made for my age. Like I was telling you, I don't drink. I haven't drank in 5 years. So I feel like that's a good reflection of my
Absolutely.
self-love.
Especially in the industry, right? Because
Yeah, it's
everywhere you
definitely-
go, everyone's drinking.
It's always being offered to me. It's always readily available. A lot of the shows are at clubs and bars. And like before I even got sober, I was like, I can't even be in those environments. Like I'm gonna be too tempted. But but like to answer your question, like, am I in the beginning, middle? Like your healing, it doesn't have like an ending. So I can't answer that. Like it never ends.
Yeah, and I mean that's a good answer because that just kind of shows that you're processing your journey almost, right? Like you're learning and you're growing and you're making staples in your life right now. So that's amazing. Like that is something that other women need to hear because it's okay to not know. You know, like if you just sat here and just blurted out answers like, oh, I know I'm doing this and I know I'm doing that, you know, I'd rather you be honest and be like, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure if I want to go to school. I'm not sure if I want to completely, you know, change the theme of my business. You know, next week you might feel that way. So that's understandable to, you know, just not know. Sometimes it's better to not know or tell people you don't know, right?
Yeah.
I love it. And I think that was a very honest answer. Yeah. So what is it that made you want to get into like designing? I know you said you did it as a child, but is there something that sparked that in you as a child? Was it maybe you stopped for a while and something sparked it back up?
Pretty much. I feel like creating art for me is like therapy, and it keeps me sane. And I was pretty good at school, but like that's just, I don't know, like an office job was just, I could never see that for myself.
And when you do it, it's so depressing.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I had to make my creative pursuits work for me because that's all I wanted for myself. Did I answer your question?
Oh, absolutely. And I didn't know if you were still going, but that's beautiful. And you know, for me, like you said, I'm not like, I don't want to go to school. I don't want to go sit in anyone's classroom. You know, I kind of let the world teach me and the people I talk to and, you know, experience. That's how I learn. Like, it's kind of hard for me to learn from like textbooks and listening to a teacher all day from this class to that class and then like the drama along with it. And I feel like it's unnecessary when you know like your journey is something other than that. Yes. You know? So, and that's kind of where I went, you know. I got married young, you know, had children, you go into the workplace, and my whole life I've been creative, you know, but you kind of forget once the world takes you on and you go to work every day and, you know, you're not able to actually even remember that you have those dreams or that you even have that creativity. It can drop to the wayside so fast, you know? So I did that for a very long time, and it's almost like one day, it's like my body just couldn't take it anymore. And so many people around me were feeling that way. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't do this anymore. Like I don't want to go to work anymore. This is terrible. This is, you know, causing depression. Like I had a lot of coworkers that were, you know, depressed, and they were having to take off, you know, mental health days and things like that. Because every day is about work, and then you get home and you prepare for work the next day. You know, you don't get to spend the time doing anything you love unless you schedule it in, right? There's no spontaneous moments. There's no
Groundhog Day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, What kind of life is that? You lose it's almost like you turn black and white, you know? You're no longer colorful. You're no longer like, you know, exuberating who you are. You're now this puppet sitting at a desk that may think about their talent sometime, but it never comes, right? So just to say that, it was 2020. And we had just had this conversation at work, and we were all like on our lunch break complaining. And we went back into work, and they sent us home because COVID started. So in so many ways, I sit back and I'm like, did we create that as a collective? We couldn't have done that to the world, no. But, you know, I do feel that was almost like a break for everybody, even though some people, you know, felt stuck. I think if you looked at it in a different way, you were able to do other things. I was able to turn around and be like, wait a minute, I want to be doing this. Like, I have time now to go shoot with models and create things and do this and do that. And it sparked an interest. And, you know, we were down for 2 years. So I didn't have to do anything. And then when the world came back and I was like, who's going back to that 9 to 5?
Not me.
Exactly. So, you know, it's all about like, how you were saying, you know that wasn't for you, you know? And it's like, I definitely admire that because so many people will know that that's not for them, just like me, and you still go off into do things that you know are going to make you unhappy.
Please other people.
Exactly. And not realizing you already know, like, even when you don't know what's next, it always works out, right? So I love it. I love that you're creative. I love that, you know what, you're putting your special touches on everything. And I feel like, you know what, you're going to get even more creative. You get what I'm saying? And it's only going up, right? And just remember to be in the spaces with people that are going to reciprocate, you know, and everything will work out, you know? Yeah, no problem. So, I know you don't know much about Mercury retrograde, but we're going to have a little bit of fun, ask a little bit of like silly questions and things like that, right? So, I mean, a lot of people don't know a lot about Mercury retrograde. We all kind of just like repeat what we hear and we're like, oh, okay, yeah, this time is going to happen. And, you know, you see the posts on Instagram and really that's what it is. But, you know, of course, like I said, you do kind of notice like the odd, quirky things that are happening during this time. It's kind of like, you know, Halloween. How you get what I'm saying though? Like it's almost like, oh, like around this time, all the spirits and all the kookiness and all the craziness is gonna come out, right? And it really feels like that, right? So I feel like that's what a lot of like, you know, the holidays are. It's just like Christmas. Everybody feels love. Everybody feels this. Valentine's Day, you want to be with your partner. You know, it's all like what we put into it, right? So like I was saying, for me, I put positivity into Mercury retrograde. Now, what I was saying with you, even though you don't notice, but we all hear when retrograde is. Do you happen to notice anything crazy or wild during these times when you're hearing everybody say, oh, it's retrograde?
I feel
I know you
like
got
my
one, Sora.
communication with people, I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, it seems like everybody is misunderstanding me, and
That's the truth.
I'm just like, I don't want to deal with anybody right now.
And that's okay. And see, that is something that actually does happen during Mercury retrograde. Is communication is off. And that's why they kind of say don't make any huge decisions. You know, don't like go buy a home, like, you know, things like that, you know, old wives' tales type things, right? But for some reason, we still believe in the old wives' tales and things like that. So it's kind of the same thing, right? But yeah, like you said, communication is crazy during Mercury retrograde. Like, it's like I'm saying something to you and you're hearing me, but what the hell are you talking about? You know, like what? What are you talking about? Right? who are the people that you notice that you have is it your friends? Is it your partner? Is it your parents? Who usually gives you like the, okay, I'm going to wait a couple of weeks to talk to you vibe?
Honestly, I'm the type of person that it doesn't matter if it's Mercury retrograde. I don't like talking to people. Even the people closest to me. I'm sorry, you might hear from me in a few days or a few weeks.
I understand it.
I
Two earth signs sitting here. We get it. I get it. I get it. And it's not even like we're cutting you off. I
just need my alone time, especially as an artist. Like.
I gotta focus on my mental. Yeah. Because if that's not right, then I can't focus, and then I'm depressed.
Exactly. Right? And then it takes so
A
long. to
whole
pull myself out of
other
that,
turn.
and-
Absolutely, yes. And that downward spiral is so hard to get out of. Like, I mean, I'm like, do I need to go see a priest? Like, what's going on? But you just bring yourself out of it. How are there ways that when you have your moments of like, okay, maybe it's not even quite depression, maybe it's just a dark space, right? Because you don't want to call everything depression, because everything's not depression.
Right.
Depression is actually way darker than everyone walking around, I'm depressed. Trust me, you don't know what you're talking about, even though maybe they do. But for the most part, depression is something that shouldn't be spoken on so lightly, right? But maybe in your times of darkness where you're riding that dark night of the soul and you're just going through it, and you have to pull yourself out of it, right? Because for some reason, when you're in those spaces, there's nobody there. Like, not even your closest friends seem to be there. Like, maybe they're occupied with their partners or their other friends. What ways do you use to kind of pull yourself out?
Well, like I said, art definitely is a big form of therapy for me. But I let myself feel the shitty feelings. I'll cry until my face is swollen. Like, I'll go.
You don't mind doing the ugly cry, and it's so good
You need
sometimes.
to.
Oh
Like,
God!
The more you suppress those negative feelings, the more it just builds up.
And when it comes out, it's like, and it's explosive, right? And
exactly.
It's really bad for your body.
Right.
It's really bad for your body when you blow up like that. And women's health, a lot of the times, we don't realize a lot of the things we're going through are stress related, right? It's stress, it's depression, it's the things that we put our body through. That's like a leading cause in so many things, even cancer. It's a lot of it is stress. It triggers things within our body. So
did you know that you can fix your?
That's another thing. Like you were just saying, don't hold it in. Maybe even, a lot of people don't have people to talk to. They don't want to share with their friends. They, just have things that they're going through, right? So, yeah, when's the commercial? When's the commercial? It's a commercial right now? Oh, okay. So pretty much, like I was asking you, when you are in those spaces, and I mean like a really deep space, maybe even, like I said, depression, what is something other than like going out and drinking, even though you don't drink, going out and, doing things that you wouldn't normally do because those are, obsessive compulsive usually. What is something that you do to, even if it just lifts you up for a moment, to try to get your head clear? What is something you do in those moments?
Are we talking about something healthy?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's why I was like, not the other ones, not the other ones.
Okay, well, that's why I was saying, like, creating art or just letting myself feel the shitty feelings, or, you know, making a good meal, baking something, or taking myself out to eat. I'm a tourist. I like to eat.
Exactly. I get that one. Food, always. You can make up with me any day. Food.
But some people might say that's an unhealthy coping
Oh,
mechanism.
no, never. No, overeating alone, like at home, like stuffing yourself with ice cream and, you know, that's unhealthy. But going out, taking yourself out to eat, not unhealthy. Even if it's $200 by yourself.
Well, I mean, those are a few things I do, or the crochet.
What would you call unhealthy? What do you do that's unhealthy?
Well, because I don't drink, so I smoke weed.
Oh, that's
but-
not unhealthy. That's, you know, that is, okay, so everything is a coping mechanism. And we all have them, no matter how good you are, how aligned you are, how perfect you think you are. You know, we all have something. I smoke weed. You know what I'm saying? We all have things that have to help us tame that monster, right? So I wouldn't never say like smoking weed is just like this horrible thing unless you're just not getting anything done. But a lot of the times for people like us, it sparks our mental, right? Next thing you know, we're having conversations about all kinds of things. Next thing you know, we're being creative. We're coming up with things. Now, if you're coming up with these things and you're being creative and you're having these conversations and you're not doing anything about them, then maybe the weed's a problem. But other than that, you're creative, you're creating, and you're out here and you're doing your thing. Smoking a little weed, a lot of weed, a bunch of weed, it doesn't matter, right? That does not matter. That is, that's healthy if you ask me.
Okay, I mean, I guess it depends on who you ask.
Okay, yeah. There's a couple of people you ask them, they're gonna be like, oh my God, you smoke a joint at night at 12 o'clock to go to sleep? Like, oh, sorry, okay. But yeah, no, I don't think that's not, unhealthy. I feel like even having a glass of wine, even having a drink, you know, unwinding. Now, if you're having a binge and you've knocked back 82 drinks and you're laying on a floor, then of course that's unhealthy, right? But to sit down, maybe it eases your mind to have a glass of wine, you know, and you're not hurting anybody. You're not, you know, necessarily harming your body too much. You're not, you know, it's just we all have coping mechanisms. Hey, sometimes I like to just go sit outside, literally. Like, sitting in the house sometimes, I'm like, okay, it's made of wood, but I can't breathe in here. You know? Like, this is awkward, you know? Let me go get some... awkward. Let me go get some air, right? Like, I want to breathe real trees, you know? So a lot of the times, like, when I need to just calm down, it's like, take a walk, girl. Go take a walk, and if that doesn't work and you're like out of breath and that didn't work, maybe you should smoke some weed, right? So like I said, like you have to do what's good for you. Like everyone can give you advice, but that's why I feel it's so good to have so many different opinions, right? Even when Phoenix comes in, there'll be different opinions. You get what I'm saying? It's good to have different opinions because if you're only listening to yourself, then you never learn anything because you can always take and give, you know, from a conversation or an experience or a meeting, you know, what you need because just think about the dozens of people you talk to on a normal basis, right? You take some stuff, like you might even take the craziest thing they said to you and be like, oh my God, like that stuck with me though. But they might give you like a whole slew of advice that you don't even remember what they said, right? So yeah, it's what resonates with you, you know? Even just like with friendships, right? Like that person has to resonate with you. That's how they become your friend. That's how they become someone you actually want to see again. That's how they become someone you want to be around because at some point you guys resonated together. And, you know, I think if more people knew, like, you can let people go. You can let friends go. You can let, you know, partners go. You can let business partners go. You can, anybody, right? because sometimes we stop resonating on the same, vibe or the same planes or however you want to, say it. And it takes away, it kind of takes away from the actual friendship when you don't know how to let it go, right? Or even relationship or anything. So just to say, like, just make sure you're just resonating with the people around you, right? Mm-hmm. So that is that question. You answered it, but I kind of went on for a second about resonation. Sorry. But we are now going to commercial, and thank you. Go ahead and
Did you know that you can fix your credit all by yourself with the help of artificial intelligence? You don't even have to hire a credit repair company. Dispute AI is the only do-it-yourself credit repair software for consumers and is here to help you every step of the way. It's simple. Plus, you'll get coaching support from our credit experts. Our brilliant artificial intelligence knows how to challenge any negative item that is affecting your personal credit, whether it is late payments, collections, bankruptcy, child support, and much more. The promotional offer is only $34.99 a month. There are no hidden fees or upsells. This offer includes access to your 3 bureau reports and scores, and $1 million in identity fraud protection, covering the entire household. And there's no deductible in the event of a fraud claim. Check out our website to get started on your journey to better credit today.
And we are back with Clear as Fuck with Nicole. Right, we are back. So, for the people who are just joining, go ahead and introduce yourself one more time and what you do.
Hi, my name is Nicole Renee. I am an artist and entrepreneur based in the Bay Area. I am a licensed esthetician and I specialize in lashes and brows. I also offer massage and yoni steam services at my salon in Livermore. And then I also design clothes and jewelry.
Love. She's actually very, very creative too. We were talking about that a little earlier in the segment. Yeah, just like she was saying, she designs clothes, she models, she has her own lash business, yoni steaming. That's amazing, right? We'll go ahead and share like links to everything after the show. All right, so we've already been going for a little bit, getting to know Nicole. We're gonna start on a couple of questions. So Nicole, what's one thing that tested your inner patience this week but did not win?
Can I use the example I gave you?
Absolutely.
Something that tested my patience happened today when my client didn't show up.
I'm like, oh yeah, it didn't today.
It didn't bother me.
Talk about it too.
She didn't show up, and instead of me getting mad over it, I'm a little mad, but I didn't overreact. I just went out, got a coffee, got some breakfast, ran some errands. I just did some other things with my time, and I just shifted with the shit.
That's right, because that is what today is about, shifting with the shit. All this stuff that pops up out of nowhere and is just craziness, right? So be honest. Ever sent that I'm fine text while plotting emotional revenge in your head?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Share.
I didn't see that on there.
Oh, that was, remember I said I had some secret questions that'll make you think?
I mean, sometimes it's not worth explaining to someone, so you just save your breath and tell someone you're fine.
Right. Absolutely. And sometimes it's like, why would I waste my breath? Because a lot of the times what happens is we waste our breath and then we're just
They
like
don't hear
stuck
you.
with no energy. We're drained. We're just floating along trying to figure it out.
And most of the time, that revenge is just me never speaking to them again.
And that is the best revenge because, people do you wrong and then they don't realize, oh, wait, this person was actually kind of cool in my life. They
Yeah.
actually did something for me, Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I totally get that. But yeah, that revenge. If you could ghost one thing in your life right now,
Ghost?
anything, it could be a mindset, it could be a habit, it could be a job, what would it be?
Procrastination. I put off a lot of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's something that you can share, that you would want to share, is something that you've been procrastinating in, that you have been like, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, I need to do this. It could be something that's helping your elevation. It could be something that's changing your life, maybe a move, maybe anything.
I would say working on offering more classes. I've taught a few students with lash extensions, but I'm still kind of like nervous about it. Like it was like what I was telling you earlier. I'm afraid to speak. Like I need to find more power in using my voice. And yeah, that's like something really big I've been putting off is just offering my classes. I've posted about it a few times. It's just I'm not. I know I can do more than what I have done.
Right. Mm-hmm. And that's definitely understandable. Like we put things off, but sometimes we use the excuse of I'm doing other things too,
Yeah.
right? I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm doing other things though, and it's like, but this one thing could be the thing, you know? And I think we do that because we're afraid of, like, what if it does happen? I think a lot of people don't think about that. Like, they think, oh, well, you know, who would be afraid of success? But a lot of the times we are, because success means we don't know what's next sometimes. And, you know, taking a step to do something different from everyone else is a huge step to change your life, right?
Yeah.
So it's scary. It's scary. We don't know where we're going, where we're headed, how we're getting there. But just taking those steps to bring yourself back, you know, and just woosah. Just woosah. But yeah, you know, ghost those things. Ghost those things. Ghost those things, right? You don't ghost those things and they're just, you know, straggling around. Like you said, you've been sober and, like, that's something you ghosted, right? That's something you left in your past. And I'm pretty sure that the reason why you left it in the past is because your life has elevated since you've done that, right?
I also was going to add on when you were talking about 2020 earlier. That was the year that I was in beauty school. And it was like a month or two into me starting beauty school, and then everything got shut down. And that was super discouraging for me at first. And I did get really depressed, like, because I had nothing to do with myself. Like, I had a routine that was helping me, like, in my mental health. And then once all of that, like, got
down.
messed up, like, I couldn't go to school, I couldn't go to work because everybody was paranoid about being around people. And
It was the snowball effect.
yeah, and so I actually, at the beginning of COVID, like, my drinking was getting worse, and then also during the first few months of COVID, that's when I made the decision to stop drinking completely, because it was getting really bad, and I was like, okay, I need to stop all of this. And like, everything I had, I just poured it out, and I just made the decision, I'm completely done, I'm not going back. And I had started, like, a few other ventures during COVID. Like, I started doing Monet. I gave that up, but it was like a skin and hair care company. But yeah, I just, like, had to pivot and, like, try and see what I could do with my time during COVID and not being able to do my original plan. But then once school started again, then I got my license, and yeah, I got the salon, and
you saw things change.
Yes.
Yeah. And I feel that's, like, the importance of ghosting, right? That, like I said before, that's exactly why you did it, because you knew that if you got rid of it, it would change everything.
Yeah.
And it did. And I really congratulate you on that. And
Thank you.
I appreciate you for doing that, because you can show other women that they can do it. You don't have to go out and drink every time you go out. You can have a good time without drinking, and you look like you have a good time. Thank you. So, and I'm like, I'm really impressed that you don't drink, because I'm like, this girl always has a smile on her face, and she's like, you know, you're on it. And I'm just like, that's amazing. And, you know, I commend you.
Thank you so much.
Good shit, shifting through that shit, you know?
Thank you.
So, what is something that you notice about just, you know, after going through all of that? Was it more like, oh, a light at the end of the tunnel, like, oh, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do? Did you already know what you needed to do, and that's why you stopped? Or
Yeah, I've struggled with drinking since I was a teenager. I lost my dad at 15, so that I was in a very deep depression after that. And so there had been times where I had stopped drinking for a few months, but then I'd always go back to it. But yeah, I just had enough of my own shit, and I was like, get it together, bitch. Like,
And you know,
knock it off.
that's usually when you finally get it together is
Yeah.
when you're telling yourself that.
You can't have someone else telling you, like, it
Because you're
was,
like, you're tripping. Like, nothing's wrong with me. I'm having a good time. I'm young. I'm this, you know. Yeah, I get
like,
it.
if it's your mom or your friends or someone else telling you you need to stop doing that, it's like you don't want to listen to other people telling you what to do. But once it's yourself telling and like wanting better for yourself, then you'll actually it sticks with you.
Right, and that's why it's so important to do the inner work so you can hear that voice, right? I can tell you definitely do inner work. I can tell that you speak to yourself. I can tell that, you know, you're that bitch. You get what I'm saying? I get it. So, yeah, that's where you were. You had been doing that inner work, and that inner work was like, girl, we don't like this. You know, that inner voice was there, and you could hear it. And you know, that's what I encourage all women to do, is that inner work, because even when we're working through things, that voice always comes through, and it gets stronger and stronger as the more you go inside, right? And the more you learn about yourself, and the more that you are able to confide in yourself and learn about yourself, you can discern all those things, right? And so, like I said, it's so important to do that inner work, even when you're going through things. You don't have to wait until everything's over with and you supposedly healed and you feel like you're in a good place to start listening to yourself.
Right.
You should be always listening to yourself. And hey, even if you have a bad day the next day and you're throwing a fit in the middle of, you know, the street, you know, throwing things, then, you know, at some point when you calm down, that voice is going to be like, oh yeah, I'm still here, right? So, yeah, I commend you. Good shit. All right. So even though we are talking about, you know, retrograde and shifting through the shit and all these other things, it also does apply, like you said, to regular life. It doesn't have to just be about Mercury retrograde. A lot of the times, though, people talk about during Mercury retrograde, we have like these certain like moments where we have rage, you know, and we experience a more heightened level of, you know, anger. What do you think that's about? Do you think it's more of, do you think it could be planetary? Do you think it's more of, you know, just shifting of energies? Where do you think that comes from?
I feel like during Mercury retrograde, I don't know so much about just anger being more prominent, but like all energy is just more intense, I feel like. So I feel like any emotion is going to be more intense than when it's not in retrograde, I guess.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So if you could talk to Mercury retrograde, right? She's sitting right over there, right? She's sitting right over there, and she's in the room. She's staring at us right now, and she's telling us things, right? What do you think this Mercury retrograde has kind of like brought down? What have you downloaded from this Mercury retrograde?
I feel like it's this Mercury retrograde. When did it start?
Oh gosh, was it the 11th?
The 11th. Okay.
So it's been going already for a minute, and then it'll be over right before my birthday.
Okay.
So,
I feel like it's been teaching me to cut people off, or like sooner than later. Like I've always been someone that gives people so many chances. I'm overstanding, and sometimes when you're too understanding of people, they're too inconsiderate of you, and I've just been easier to let people go. I've been easier to let people misunderstand me. Like I don't have it in me to like convince anybody to stay or
did it take you? Is that something that you're just learning, or is this something that you kind of developed young, or?
I can notice it more recently. It's just easier for me to do because in the past, I would just, even if like they weren't respecting me or caring for me, I'd just hold on because I didn't want to let them go.
That's unfortunate because we all do that. We all have moments in our life where, you know, we feel like we don't need to let go of people, things, objects, and we kind of just hold on to things. And, you know, things do carry old energy, and that old energy that's stagnant tends to weigh you down, right? And so I think that's why, you know, most of us, either as young teenagers, even some young children, develop a wall, what people like to call a wall. You know, oh, they have a wall up, they have a wall up. And it's not a wall. I can see you clearly. There's no wall in front of me, right? Like, I can see you, you can see me. I just choose not to share all of me with you, and you're offended by that. You get what I'm saying? So it's not that there's a wall. It's just, you know, you're not going to get all of me until you prove that it's necessary. You know, and that, I mean, I commend people who finally get to that point in their life where it's like, oh, wait, like, I'm not trying to hold on to people anymore. I'm trying to, you know, I can let you go without it being an argument. You know, I can let you go without it being a fight because, hey, maybe I just don't call you back anymore. And you don't call me because usually when you call me, you're asking for something, or you get what I'm saying? And, you know, a lot of the times all you got to do is say no, and then they go away, you know, and if you don't call, they're not going to call. Or they might call like out of the blue, you know, and it's kind of like, You've learned that person. And the thing about it is the thing they call the wall, when they feel like they can't penetrate that wall, that's when they start getting kind of offensive, right? That's when it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're not the person I thought you were because you told me no. You know, and I think that's like what a lot of people are dealing with right now, right? I feel like everybody's dealing with that right now. They're kind of shedding people, they're shedding beliefs, they're shedding knowledge, you know, old knowledge and gaining new knowledge. We're shedding our habits. And I think that's beautiful because once you shed things, I think that's allowing new energy to come into this world, right? Because everybody's displacing their old energy. The ones who are learning that that's what that is, you know? So what is something that is a trigger for you? Like, and it doesn't have to be, it could be a good trigger. If you want to share a good trigger, it could be a good trigger. But what is something that triggers you to go full steam ahead? Because sometimes for some people, it could be a negative feeling. It could be, I am so angry at this person, I'm just going to get out there and go do this.
I feel like anger is
it can really accelerate a woman. That's all I'm going to say. You know, it really can accelerate a woman because, you know, I would like to say like women who have a different train of thought, their first thought is not to hurt you back. It's, you know what, watch me do my thing, right? It's not, oh, I'm going to go fuck off myself, you know, and you're still sitting here, you know, doing you. And it's like, no, I'm going to go make sure I elevate, right? So, yeah, anger is like, that is like a locomotive with coal, you know, full steam ahead. What other triggers?
this one.
I can say, you know what's crazy to me? I feel like happiness is actually not the best trigger, if that makes sense. I feel happiness tends to get people stagnant because we forget, you know, the things that we were going through. We try to put everything behind us and we almost get lackadaisical. Like, I notice even when people get into relationships, you know, there's full steam ahead and then they get into a relationship.
You get too comfortable.
And then I'm comfortable with my mate. This is what we're doing now. And I don't really know what to do next. So I'm chilling now. We're vacationing. I'm not focusing on anything. and when that relationship's either over or maybe it goes on, but maybe you guys end up doing like your own things within the relationship, but now you don't have anything because you've been stagnant because you're happy.
I
Do
mean,
you think that's a thing?
I haven't been in a relationship for like 2 years, but I have noticed that like once I start liking somebody and I start talking to them consistently, I do start falling out of my routine and
'Cause
like
you feel like you got there. You're like, I'm here. I'm
you
good.
get comfortable and then you want to spend so much time together and then is no like I have been trying to like keep in mind like I need to stay focused on what I'm working on, and like if that person is clingy, it can come off offensive to them because they're like, oh, why don't you want to see me? Why aren't you answering? And it's like
Where are you? Yeah.
but I don't want to lose myself like in another relationship. I need to like
You're like been there.
hold on to myself, yeah, and keep doing all of the things that have gotten me to the place where I'm at today. I can't just get too comfortable.
Yeah, and that's just what happens. You know, happy means comfort, right? And so, like I said, you get lackadaisical. You know, you forget that you had a mission. You know,
exactly.
you forget that anger, that mission you had that you are accomplishing and going full steam ahead at, and you're almost reaching that goal, and then you're like, oh my God, I'm in love.
Get it together.
Oh my God, the same thing is gonna happen again.
Oh my God, you sound stupid.
I get it. But you know, and there are people who are happy that move on and they still go full steam ahead. But isn't that, you know, when they get into their relationships and those are the partners that support them, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it all leads into like the support you have, right? And that's kind of what we were talking about last week on the show. We were talking about how a lot of people just don't have the support. Has that been an issue for you throughout the years? Do you have a good support system, or did you have to work through a lot of things yourself?
I feel like I'm my biggest support system, as anybody should be. But luckily, I have a very supportive mom that I'm grateful for. But yeah, I feel like when you start a business or when you're doing something that not everyone else is doing, your friends they don't know how to react. They're you know, they don't know.
To cheer you on,
Yeah,
but they're like,
a little
is she
nervous
really
for
gonna
you?
do it?
Yeah, like, you know, I don't know if that's
It feels like
stable.
everyone's side-eyeing you, right?
Yeah.
And it sucks because sometimes it takes you longer to do things when you feel that way. Mm-hmm. You know, you kind of like do things a little slower, as if everybody was rooting you on, you'd be like, I gotta do it because everybody's rooting me on, right? And I don't think, you know, the people that are around us understand that or realize that. I don't think they realize we need that. And, you know, even in the industry, the modeling industry, you know, I even noticed so many models don't really have friends and family that come to their shows. Like, they might have friends for one show, nobody at a next show, you know? And I think friends think, oh, well, they're with this new crowd of people. They have all the support they need. And it's like, no, I want you guys there. I want you guys there so that afterwards I can party with y'all. Like, you guys are my friends. Like, what's going on, you know? So I get it. Like, you crave that. You crave to celebrate your accomplishments with the people you care about. And yeah, we care about, you know, our model friends. They actually become part family, you know? You meet models and you're like, oh my God, our lives are similar. Like, creative people, all of our lives are similar. They suck, you know? They're amazing, but they suck sometimes. You know, we go through it, we go up, we go down, we're emotional, we're creative, we are also, you know, eccentric, right? Yeah. So, you know, we actually fit all very well together, but we still want our real friends, you know, and our family, and to be like, oh my gosh, we're gonna be there, we're gonna buy 5 tickets, you know, like, wait, where is that at? Like, where's the, you know, uproar? And I think, is that something, I've never really talked about that with any of my friends or anything. Is that something you've ever talked about with anyone? Is that something you've ever shared that maybe like, hey, I wish you guys supported me more?
Yeah, I'm good about being vocal about what I need. And like my last show, the Summer Breeze show, I really didn't care to have anyone there except my mom, and because a lot of my fashion shows have been in the middle of the night in a nightclub or a bar, and my mom, that's not my mom's scene, and she will not be out in the middle of the night. She is a Virgo. She will be at home in bed with her dog.
We're like, the freaks come out at night.
Yeah, and so this one was in the daytime, so I was like, please come to this one, and she was stuck in traffic for like 2 hours, and she almost didn't make it, and I was in the bathroom praying, and I was like, please, like, I really just want my mom here, and then she made it, and she saw me, and it just felt so much more special having her there than...
It feels so good. And I don't even think they even realize, like, it's almost like emotional turmoil, you know? Like, exactly, because it feels so good when you have that support, and especially when you're doing something you love and something you're good at. And when you've got everybody cheering for you, and, you know, the people around you that you go home to aren't anywhere around, but it's like, oh, guess what I did? And they're like, yay, I guess.
Exactly.
And it's like, oh, like, I don't even know if I like you people anymore. Like, do you actually like me? Like, and, you know, and they're literally the main ones encouraging you to do these things, right? They're like, you need to do this, you need to do that. You need to, you know, your friends are like, oh, you should do this, you know, and that. And then you do it, and you're like, oh, okay, well, thanks for coming. But yeah, it's definitely hard being a creative and not having the support, you know. And I feel like a lot of us don't. We find support within the creative community.
Yeah.
And that's why I feel collaboration is so important, and meeting each other and giving each other, whether it's platforms, opportunities, you know, encouragement, you know, and that's all really a person needs, right? Is a platform, encouragement, and, you know, people who are going to support them. And I think, like, people don't realize, get more into the creative field, because if you see, the more you get in, the more people you meet, the more opportunities. And not only just the opportunities are amazing, but not only are the opportunities amazing, it's what it does to your soul. You know, you're finally doing what you're doing, and not only are you doing what you're doing it in a room full of people who are doing the same thing, and they understand how you feel, because they all feel the same way. So the energy's a little different, right? As opposed to doing it by yourself with just you. You know? All right, so we're going to go ahead and wrap up some things. I do want to take it back to you and what you're doing next and what you've got going on. And let's go. Let's see what's going on. Do you have any shows coming up?
Yes, my next show will be August 17th, the NorCal Barber Expo. But I am looking for a new hairstylist or braider, because the hairstylist and the designers are going to be collaborating. And my hairstylist just dropped out last minute.
I actually think I'm in that show.
You are?
I think so. I think so. So yes.
So yeah, I'm looking for a hairstylist to partner with for that show, but I'm excited for that.
Nice. Okay, get on there and say she needs a hairstylist for her show.
August
Hit her
17th.
up. Please give them
Pleasanton.
all your contacts.
My personal Instagram with just everything that I do is Nicole, NicoleXX Renee RENEE, and my business Instagram is Nikki's Dollhouse, NICKISDOLLHOUSE.
Yes. That. All right. Is there anything else you would like to share with anyone about you that maybe one thing that maybe the industry doesn't know about you but needs to know about you?
I'm shy.
She's shy. Don't just put her into things. Just like you can't just shove me in front of a camera. It's got to be like
I can get cute in front of a camera, but opening up and speaking like this is very hard for me.
Yeah. So what's next? Are you going to be putting out new designs? Is that something that you work on a normal basis, or is it kind of like I do it in my spare time?
I feel like trap art has helped me like stay consistent because I always have. There's always a show to be looking forward to, but
They have been doing amazing for the community of artists, and especially just the young people, like all a part of that show. Like it's huge. Like you
Yeah.
guys got the audience, you guys have got the talent, you guys have got the designers, the makeup artists. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And it's also a very entertaining show. So yeah, you get different vibes from everybody there. So
Yeah.
I like that.
But that's definitely helped me stay on track. Just always having an event to look forward to. But I've kind of been slowing down as of recently. So yeah, I just crochet when I have time, or if I have a show coming up.
Right. Do you find yourself like slam dunking right before a show?
My first few shows, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, you don't realize it comes fast. You're like, I got time. I've got 2 weeks. I've got 3 weeks. And then like next thing you know, it's like 4 days. And you're like, oh, maybe I better get in there and do something.
Yeah.
Put some stuff together. I don't know. Alrighty. Well, Nicole, it was amazing having you today. Is there anything you would like to promote? Any products you have, or maybe a friend's product, because I am all about putting your friends on if that's what you would like to do.
Well, if you would like to book an appointment with me, my salon is located in Livermore. Like I said, I specialize in lashes, brows, massage, and yoni steams. My Instagram is Nikki's Dollhouse, and the book, or the link to book, is in my bio. I think that's about it.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for coming out today. I definitely enjoyed talking to you. I hope that you are able to continue this Mercury retrograde without screaming, yelling, and kicking in the middle of the street, and you just shift with that shit, okay?
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed talking with you too.
Absolutely. Well, everybody, we are done, and have a great night.
Bye.